Right now, searching for a missing Madison woman. The latest details after a body is found in connection to her disappearance. Plus, Vice President Kamala Harris with another stop in the Badger State, what the Democratic candidate had to say at the birthplace of the Republican Party. And providing eye care to local students, the Madison nonprofit gearing up to celebrate 4 decades of work all around the world. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. A woman's body was found off Monroe Street and Odana Road late this afternoon. It comes after a search for Brooke Stratton, who had been missing since Monday. Our Merrill Hubbard was at the scene where the body was found. She gives us more information.
The body was found just beyond the brush behind me, and officers say it looks like the woman they've been searching for.
We were able to recover a female body that appears to be our missing person.
24-year-old Brooke Stratton was reported missing by her family on Tuesday, and that's when officers started their initial search. After looking through the Odana Hills area, they were able to narrow down their search because of a tip from a community member.
A community member called in a tip saying that she thought she saw someone matching our missing person walking in this area. So we were able to break off resources.
MPD, Dane County Sheriffs, the DNR, and underwater recovery team then found a woman's body in a pond near the Arboretum.
We were able to use our drone to get above the water, and it looked like it was indeed a person. So the Dane County underwater recovery team was relocated to this area along with other resources, and we were able to recover a female body.
Officials say that the body appears to be Brooke Stratton, but the medical examiner's office will confirm at a later time. Meanwhile, officers are investigating what led up to this incident. Stratton was last seen with a male acquaintance on Monday, and that same man is in police custody now for unrelated charges.
Detectives are on their way now to speak with him to get further information about what the nature of their relationship was, the last time she saw him, and what may have occurred here on Monday night.
MPD urges people living near Odana Road and Monroe Street to check their Ring cameras for recorded footage from Monday around 7:30 a.m. If you do check your Ring cameras or have any more information about what may have happened on Monday, please contact MPD or Crime Stoppers. Reporting on Madison's West Side, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
The first of 9 people charged in the deaths of 2 inmates at Waupun Correctional Institution has closed their case. Sarah Ransbottom pled no contest on Friday to a charge of violating laws governing state institutions. She was initially charged with misconduct in public office. A criminal complaint alleges she signed on record that she had completed checking cells on February 21st. Security camera footage showed she did not. One of the inmates, Donald Meyer, was found dead on the 22nd. So far, 5 inmates have died at the prison since June of 2023. Helene is now the deadliest hurricane to hit the U.S. mainland since Katrina in 2005. The death toll now tops more than 200, and hundreds are still missing. 6,700 members of the National Guard are distributing food and water across 6 states, and through all the misery, there have been some moments of hope. Firefighters in Tennessee rescued a dog that had been stuck in a tree for days. We will stick around the 70s for the next couple of days. Temperature-wise, we go to meteorologist Jacob Montesano out on the patio for when we could cool down a bit. Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, temperatures are going to remain pretty comfortable. Now, we do have a chance of rain tonight, and although it's going to be small, it seems like any chance of rain is a big deal here lately. Now, we did have a lot of rain 2 weekends ago, but for the most part, we've been pretty dry. These showers have really kind of ballooned over the last hour or so. Heaviest rain right now is in the central portion of Wisconsin and northern Juneau and Adams County. If you're tuning in from there, you're likely seeing some rain at this time. And most of our areas should see some raindrops tonight, but they're mostly going to clear up by the time we get to sunrise. So here's a look at the forecast throughout the night. Again, brief round of some showers, mostly light to moderate rain. Could see some pockets of moderate showers, especially in central Wisconsin. But this is going to clear up pretty quickly. It's not going to be a huge issue. Could see a few rumbles of thunder, but that's just about it. By the time we get to sunrise, it will be pretty much out of here. Maybe some lingering showers are possible. And although we're going to start out cloudy very early in the morning, we're going to see those clouds clear up pretty quickly by the late morning. So as we take a look at the forecast for tonight, lows will be around 50. Mostly just seeing some light showers, not going to be a big deal. Pretty cool temperatures, though, in the central and northern portion of the state, as some areas could reach the upper 30s. So for tomorrow, we're going to see more sunshine by the afternoon. Highs will be near 70. But then the weekend, although it's going to be fairly dry, we do have a small chance of rain, and it's also going to be pretty windy. I'll talk more in detail about all of that coming up a bit later.
Jacob, thank you. The Milwaukee Brewers postseason run is over. The crew lost tonight 4-2 to the New York Mets. Pete Alonso got the Mets in the lead with his 3-run homer in the top of the ninth. The Brewers led 2-0 at the time. The Mets now advance the divisional playoff round. Will take on the Philadelphia Phillies. That series starts on Saturday. Tonight, Democratic presidential nominee Vice President Kamala Harris returned to the Badger State, but her trip took the vice president to an unusual and historic part of the state. Political reporter Will Keneally reports from Ripon.
It's rare that you'd find a Democratic nominee here in Ripon, Wisconsin, which is actually the birthplace of the Republican Party. But that's exactly what Kamala Harris did, touting notable Republican endorsements.
So we are gathered here today in Ripon, not far, as the Congresswoman mentioned, from a small building where the Republican Party was born in 1854.
The Ripon College visit for VP Kamala Harris highlighted many of the major Republican endorsements she's garnered in the past couple of weeks, including Liz Cheney. The theme, protecting American democracy.
History teaches us again and again that democracies can fall. They fall to populists, they fall to strongmen.
For Cheney, that means former President Donald Trump. She told the crowd that Harris will be the first Democrat she has ever voted for.
What January 6th shows us is that there is not an ounce of compassion in Donald Trump. He is petty, he is vindictive, and he is cruel. And Donald Trump is not fit to lead this good and great nation.
If people across Wisconsin and our nation are willing to do what Liz is doing, then together I know we can chart a new way forward, not as members of any one party, but as Americans.
And this is all ahead of former President Donald Trump's visit to Juneau, Wisconsin on Sunday. Reporting from Ripon, Wisconsin, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
The GOP is training thousands of poll watchers ahead of Election Day. The Republican National Committee and the Trump campaign were in Franklin, near Milwaukee, training about 24 volunteers to become poll watchers. RNC officials say a key part of their training includes encouraging watchers to report what they deem as suspicious to staff or RNC lawyers. And Milwaukee's election commission is prepping for an influx of these poll watchers. The RNC says it has recruited more than 200,000 poll watchers nationwide. The Justice Department and Microsoft say they've disrupted Russian hacking operations. The DOJ says it seized more than 100 web domains used by a Russian intelligence agency. That agency allegedly used them to try to hack current and former U.S. officials, civil society groups, and Russians living in the U.S. It's the latest in a series of moves from the DOJ to expose alleged covert Russian operations targeting U.S. democracy in the run-up to the 2024 presidential election. In our 3 for the People coverage now, we continue covering the Madison school referendum. Tonight, we're looking at the impact on teachers. And one of the questions this November will ask Madison voters to spend up to $100 million for operating costs. The district says this referendum will enable the district to offer competitive salaries and benefits, including tackling the escalating cost of health care premiums. The head of the Madison Teachers Union hopes younger teachers can get a pay increase to keep them from leaving the district. But right now, it's unclear how much of the referendum funding would go directly to teachers.
You know, in terms of having specific numbers, that's a TBD, because a lot of that also depends on how much or how little the state gives us, or how much or how little we get in federal funding.
At channel3000.com, you can find more information about the Madison School District referendum, including what it would cover, how much it would cost, and what voters think. Just head to our 3 for the People section. An all-volunteer fire department receives a national grant to enhance its services. State Farm and the National Volunteer Fire Council are giving a $10,000 grant to the Endeavor Moundville Fire Department. The funds are part of the State Farm Good Neighbor Firefighter Safety Program. 100 departments across the nation received those grants, with EMFD being one of only 2 Wisconsin departments to get the award. EMFD says the funds will be used to replace a firefighting hose and purchase a new battery-powered ventilation fan. In Wisconsin, the maternal mortality rate for black women is 3 times to 4 times higher than that of other women. The UW-Madison Prevention and Research Center is stepping in to try to change that. The CDC gave $5 million in grant money to help reduce maternal mortality rates. The center plans on bringing blood pressure monitoring devices into women's homes and having a healthcare team work directly with them. The funding will provide resources for this work through September of 2029. More people in the U.S. are living to 100, and health experts say there are ways to boost your chance of becoming a centenarian. The number of people who hit 100 in the U.S. is expected to more than quadruple over the next 30 years. Doctors say aging is marked by metabolism changes, cells no longer replicating, declining immunity, and more. And these changes typically begin around the age of 44 and again at about age 60.
Each one of those hallmarks of aging, as they're called, is a potential area for intervention, where you could actually extend lifespan by focusing on those things. Those things start to change primarily at those ages. So those are ages where you should really start to pay attention to aging more than you normally do.
The CDC says healthy aging means to have a balanced diet, keep your mind stimulated, stay active, and manage your stress. A nonprofit working to eliminate preventable blindness prepares to celebrate its 40th anniversary. Next week on October 10th, Combat Blindness International will be holding an event at the Majestic Theater in Madison. There, attendees can listen to live music, participate in a silent auction, and eat Indian street food. CBI will also be launching its mobile vision van, bringing essential eye care directly to children in the Madison School District. Since 1984, the organization has provided more than 4 million vision screenings and helped with more than 430,000 cataract surgeries around the globe. Coming up on News 3 Now at 10, there's a chance for some rain tonight. Jacob will detail when we'll dry out in his complete forecast. Plus, the Tyree Nichols trial comes to an end. What verdict the jury handed down to 3 police officers in Memphis.
Get an 11% rebate on everything in Menards. Dutch Boy DuraClean exterior paint is a paint and primer in one that's formulated to resist dirt, weather, and fading. A gallon starts at $34.48 after rebate. Maximize your curb appeal with Dutch Boy Max Bond Plus exterior paint. It provides max adhesion, hide, and performance. A gallon starts at $47.87 after 11% rebate. Don't forget to check out Dutch Boy's Color of the Year for 2025, Mapped Blue.
Save big money at Menards.
It's a great time to have RG Heating and Air Conditioning check your home's furnace system for safety and efficiency. RG services all brands and installs quality Trane equipment to keep your home running smooth year-round. Call RG Heating and AC today.
China Lights is back this fall at Berner Botanical Gardens in Milwaukee. The Year of the Dragon has over 40 lanterns, an event for the whole family. Come see what thousands of visitors have raved about. China Lights opens September 13th and runs through October 27th. Buy your tickets now.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
We found out our baby had severe fetal abnormalities and that my life was at risk. But Wisconsin Republicans' extreme abortion ban forced us to leave the state to get the care that I needed. It was a nightmare. Eric Hovde pushed to end Roe v. Wade. And in the Senate, Hovde would give Mitch McConnell the majority to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of women like me. What is wrong with these guys?
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm Joan Balwig, and here at the shop, we have solutions both big and small. And that's why I fought in Madison for historically large increases for our fire, police, and EMS, and made sure that our small businesses had the permits that they needed to operate. I delivered millions for ag and rural road funding and created the one-day fishing license. I brought both sides together to make sure that our kids can both read and write. And those are both really big things. But you get the idea.
They produced yacht rock hits that defined an era. It's Ambrosia. Performing live October 12th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. With special guest John Ford Coley. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Soft rock that rocked the yacht. Ambrosia, John Ford Coley, October 12th. At Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
The impact of the black vote can largely change elections.
And I'm meeting with the local voters that can play that pivotal role. We'll learn what matters most to them and what each candidate must do to earn their support.
3 for the People, Monday at 6.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
There are verdicts in the federal trial of 3 police officers accused of the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols during a traffic stop last year in Memphis. Elise Preston was in the courtroom.
All 3 officers were found guilty of trying to cover up what happened the night Tyree Nichols was beaten, but not guilty on other crimes, including the most serious charges like violating his civil rights. All 3 officers have been taken into custody.
29-year-old Tyree Nichols worked for FedEx, was an avid skateboarder, lived with his parents, and wore a tattoo with his mother's name on his shoulder.
My son loved me to death, and I loved him to death.
But after police stopped him, body cam footage shows what happened next. Nichols runs off. But then officers apprehend him. This took place less than 80 yards from his mother's home. He called out for her to help him. Mom! For some 3 minutes, Memphis police officers punched, kicked, and are seen hitting him with a baton, even after he was restrained.
Tyree Nichols' death won't go unaccounted for. That is critical.
2 of the officers pleaded guilty and actually testified during this trial. Nichols' family walked out and said even with a mixed verdict, they feel like the officers are all being held accountable. Elise Preston, CBS News, Memphis, Tennessee.
The union representing 45,000 striking U.S. dock workers reaches a deal to at least suspend that strike. The International Longshoremen's Association will resume working until January 15th now. The agreement will allow the union and the U.S. Maritime Alliance to negotiate a new 6-year deal. Both sides have reportedly reached an agreement on wage increases.
The cost of everything's up. These folks work during COVID night and day, getting goods to market. It's so important for them to finally get it on the back end of all the hard work that they put in for this country during COVID.
The union went on strike on Tuesday after its contract expired in a dispute over pay and also automation. The strike came at the peak of the holiday shipping season, I should say. Amazon is once again hiring 250,000 workers for the holiday season. The number matches last year's holiday hiring. The full-time, part-time, and seasonal roles will be across customer fulfillment and transportation. Amazon says all seasonal workers earn at least $18 an hour. Weekly jobless claims moved slightly higher last week. The federal government reports first-time applications for unemployment benefits grew by 6,000 to 225,000. Economists expected the increase and believe the trend will continue into the coming weeks. Despite that uptick, weekly claims are similar to pre-pandemic numbers and below the historical averages. People who use SNAP will soon see a slight rise in their benefits. Households will see benefits increase by a few dollars a month. The increase comes from a cost of living adjustment set to take effect this month. The update comes with changes to income eligibility for the program. The net monthly income threshold for a family of 4 will increase from $2,500 to $2,600. There's a chance for showers tonight and storms this weekend. Let's check in with meteorologist Jacob Madison for when things will dry out after all this, Jacob.
Thanks, Eric. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. We are going to see the 70s stick around for a few more days with a small chance of rain tonight and another chance of rain for your Saturday night. Now, for after Saturday night, we're expecting dry weather for all of next week. Next chance of rain after Saturday looks to be for the following weekend. So as we take a look at the rainfall forecast, again, for tonight, we'll see some passing showers. Likely going to see rain for most of our area, but it should be pretty brief and light, and it looks like it will clear out by the time we get to Friday morning with some clouds during the morning hours Friday, but then sunshine is expected pretty quickly, and the sunshine will continue for the entire day. Now, as we look at not sure what happened there, but as we take a look at the forecast looking beyond Friday, we're going to continue to see plenty of sunshine and clear skies during the overnight hours. And as we get into Saturday, we're going to see a little bit more cloud cover, but we are expecting dry conditions for much of the day on Saturday. As we get into the evening and overnight hours, that's when we could see that chance of rainfall. Right now, it looks like the heaviest rain during Saturday night will be for central Wisconsin. And as this cold front moves through, we're also going to see some breezy conditions. But notice the rain chance does look to be pretty light at this time. Far southern Wisconsin, not expect to see that much rainfall. And we are actually going to see clear skies pretty quickly on Sunday. We'll see clear skies by sunrise, and that will continue throughout the entire day. So both the rain chance tonight and Saturday night will be exactly that during the overnight hours. And total precipitation will be minimal for tonight and Saturday night's rainfall. We're going to be struggling to get to even 1/10 of an inch of rain for most of our area. However, the bigger story with the cold front that will move through isn't necessarily the rain or the temperature drop, but rather the winds. So not going to see a lot of windy conditions Friday, but looking at Saturday, we'll see those wind gusts up to around 25 to 30 miles per hour during the afternoon, but it's going to get even worse as we head into the evening hours because that's when that cold front will move in, and we could be seeing some areas with wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour when that cold front indeed moves through. Now, it looks like we may see some calmer winds Sunday morning, but then those winds are going to pick back up Sunday afternoon, even well after the cold front will have already cleared out. So 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts are expected for much of the day on Sunday, so just be prepared for a pretty windy weekend. Now, temperature-wise, it's going to be fairly comfortable. Tomorrow, with the plenty of sunshine, we'll see highs in the upper 60s, lower 70s. Again, not going to see as windy conditions for your Friday, but we will for Saturday and Sunday. So upper 70s are in the forecast Saturday, upper 60s on Sunday, and then we'll be back in the 70s for a good chunk of next week, well above the normal high of around 65 to 61 throughout next week. We're also expecting very dry conditions beyond the chance of rain tonight and Saturday night. So overall, it is going to be pretty nice the next 10 days. We would like to see a little bit more rainfall considering we are under a drought for parts of our area. But, I mean, we are above average and it's going to be very comfortable during the afternoon. Could be some chilly mornings, but beyond that, other than the winds this weekend, a pretty nice forecast is expected.
And coming up in sports, Wisconsin football will be missing their leading rusher on Saturday. Why Ches Malusi won't be playing against Purdue. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Fresh ground chuck, $3.99 a pound. 24 packs of Hy-Vee purified water, $1.99. And Jimmy Dean bacon, just $2.99. In-store and online, Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
My husband and I are going through IVF treatments now. It could be our only chance to have a family. But Donald Trump's plan could ban IVF in some states. My husband is in the military. He volunteered to serve. We are patriots and we go where he is assigned. What if we end up in a state where IVF is no longer legal? What will we do then?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need. Because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
Joan Baldwin wants to ban abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and when the mother's life is at risk.
And would jail doctors who perform them.
Baldwin voted to ban birth control, too, and to deny rape victims emergency contraception.
Banning all abortions and birth control? No one wants to tell you what to do with your body more than Joan Baldwin.
But she can't tell you what to do with your vote.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, and Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Senator Baldwin claims she's doing something about the fentanyl crisis and says she got a major fentanyl bill passed. But Senator Baldwin is lying. The bill's main sponsor, Senator Tim Scott, had this to say.
As the primary sponsor, I've never had a single conversation with Tammy about this bill, period.
Career politicians like Senator Baldwin are always lying about something. Senator Baldwin, she's extreme, radical, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise. Get the updated COVID-19 vaccine at Hy-Vee. Schedule online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Plus, get your flu shot and earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Only at Hy-Vee.
The Brewers were undaunted when staring elimination in the face during Game 2 of their wild card series against the Mets. Now they have to do it all over again. It's a winner-take-all Game 3 with a spot in the NLDS on the line. Now, the Crew haven't won a playoff series since 2018, scoreless in the 7th, and that's when the bats got hot. Jake Bauer sends a solo shot to right, and the boys are in business. The next batter for Milwaukee is Sal Frelick. I heard he's a Drake fan. He did another one, and Frelick goes back-to-back for the Brewers, and AmFam Field is rocking. Now, this is it, right? Devin Williams on to close it out, but remember, we're Wisconsin sports fans, and former Madison Mallard Pete Alonso just ripped your hearts out again. His 3-run jack gives the Mets the lead for good. Brewers lose another series in the playoffs, 4-2 the final.
I love this team. You know, I love them. I love what I'll never be able to duplicate 2024. And it didn't end the way we wanted to. And you know, tragically, actually, you know, it felt like it. It felt like a tragedy. And yeah, I feel sad for our guys.
On Monday, Luke Fickell said he wanted the Wisconsin offense to create a clear-cut RB1 and RB2 instead of a running back by committee. Well, today that running back room got a little smaller. Chez Mellusi, who leads the Badgers in rushing this season, is stepping away from the team to focus on his health. In a statement, UW said, "We are here to support Chez in any way we can and hope he'll be back on the football field again one day." The Wisconsin women's hockey team was wheels up for Boston College this afternoon, and while it's a fun trip for the team, this series is a little more special for Casey O'Brien. The Badger captain is from Milton, Massachusetts, which is about a 30-minute drive from BC. So obviously there's going to be a whole lot of O'Briens in Badger gear they're watching, and Casey can't wait.
We're definitely trying to rally the troops and get a lot of Badger support from all our friends and family in the area. I think my grandparents, maybe some uncles, aunts, cousins, and then I know my brother's coming down from Maine. He's at Colby College, so it's really exciting to see them, especially when like Wisconsin's a little far, so I know they can't get out here all that often, so I'm just really excited to be back home and playing in front of them.
And just a reminder to check out this week's Wisconsin Huddle with Braden Locke. Show starts at 6:30 tomorrow night, right here on News 3 Now. We're back after this.
Furniture and Appliance Mart is celebrating 55 years in business with the lowest prices on appliances and zero-interest financing for 55 months, plus weekly doorbusters and up to $300 in free groceries at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
I'm a nurse in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Hovde means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
Eric Hovde supported overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to an abortion ban in Wisconsin.
And that's a ban with no exceptions for rape or incest.
What Hovde supports criminalizes abortion and doctors like me.
We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
I remember coming home from school and pounding on the door, but my mother wouldn't answer. She'd be passed out inside. You know, my mother had a drug abuse problem. She struggled with addiction to prescription pills her whole life. But today with fentanyl, one pill, just one pill can kill. So I've worked with Republicans to stop the flow of fentanyl that's poisoning families across Wisconsin. I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message. This fight hits close to home.
Thousands of our heroes face the difficult choice between keeping their heat and power on or facing homelessness. 21,000 Wisconsin veterans are living below the poverty line. Wisconsin loses 3 veterans to suicide every week. Together, our mission is to provide all struggling Wisconsin veterans with a critical survival safety net. You can make a real difference by providing a donation to the Wisconsin Heat and Housing for Heroes initiative.
President Trump, you have long vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act.
If we come up with something, we're going to do it, and we're going to replace it.
You still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. There are concepts and options we have to do that.
You have no plan. When Donald Trump was president, he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And what the Affordable Care Act has done is eliminate the ability of insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? We, over the last 4 years, have strengthened the Affordable Care Act, and now we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. We have capped the cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000 a year. And when I am president, we will do that for all people, understanding that access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Ashley's massive 55th anniversary celebration is on now. Get rock bottom prices on top mattress brands. Plus, our gift to you, 0 interest financing for 55 months. And weekly mattress doorbusters, only at Ashley.
The Packers face the Rams, Sunday at 3:25.
Tonight on The Late Show.
Here we go. Thank you, Tracker. No problem. It's not my name.
A special appearance by Tracker's Justin Hartley, plus Chris Wallace. New tonight on CBS.
And Jacob is back with one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, looking pretty dry and calm for the next 10 days. Could see a few chances of rain both tonight and then Saturday night. But temperatures overall going to be pretty comfortable. We'll have highs in the upper 60s and 70s. Really the only hiccup to the forecast is that it is going to be a bit breezy over the weekend, especially late Saturday and then for Sunday afternoon. We would like to see a little bit more rainfall considering our current drought situation, but putting that aside, the actual conditions outside are going to be very nice. Could see some chilly mornings, but that kind of is expected this time of year now.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for joining us, folks. For News 3 now at 10, we hope you have a great night.